Okay, Profe, so you know the Mexican national team fan base very, very well. You know it can be pessimistic. It can at times have lots of tension, anxiety. There's a position right now, the striker position, the number 9 position that has all El Tri fans worried big time ahead of the World Cup. From a managerial standpoint, you've been in that spot. How worried are you about Mexico's striker position right now?
Well, I was reviewing what I have to say, and the first thing I would have to mention is we all have to put the things in context. And last World Cup, the final list was made up of 23 players. This time around it's 26. So, to be honest, I wouldn't be too much worry about, because I think that at least there are 3 more spots to decide of who could be the next striker in this case, or who could be the next top 3 players that the manager wants to bring into the final list.
Okay, well, let's start with the first 9 then. Raul Jimenez, the man of the moment. You've coached Raul Jimenez, Profe. Tell me what you see from Raul Jimenez right now, the current player he is, after this incident with David Luiz, and maybe what you coached. How big of a difference is there from that Raul Jimenez today from that one?
Well, I remember in Russia, I spoke to Raul a couple times, and I always highlight his attributes as a football player. And I always said to him that all he had to do was to concentrate in his football and try to compete at that time with Chicharito. At this time, it would be against anybody else. I think the Raul has a dominant aerial football, meaning headers. He's very good defensively and offensively. He can also score some wonderful goals, but he can also score, as they say, the strikers' normal goals. So I think that if he can concentrate in his football in the next 2 months, I think that he could be the number 1 striker in the national team.
All right, what about a guy, Profe, like Santiago Jimenez? He's a fan favorite right now. Scored goals for Cruz Azul, got the move over to the Dutch top flight, continues to score goals for Feyenoord. Do you think he's ready to lead the line potentially as a starter at the World Cup for Mexico, or do you think he still has more development to go before he's ready to take on that responsibility?
As you all know, the manager has to select the team on form right now, here and now, and I think he combines the 2 good attributes in a goal scorer, and which is probably from his father genes, and he's very strong on leading the lineup. He's a guy that can put pressure on the defenders, and he can also score good goals. So if the manager, who at the end is the one who decides everything, wants to have one striker on form, so I think he could be that striker. The fact that he has gone to a good European league and he has adapted really well, that proves that he can play and he can be an influential player at the top level. But that again, the 26th spot allows the manager to take some chances, and he could be the player that he can decide that will take his chances on, and and deserve it because he has proved that he has played at that level.
Juan Carlos, I don't think I'm crazy in saying he's probably only going to take 3 nines. So if that's the case, and you have Raul and Santi, another guy who's in form is Henry Martín. Henry Martín is the in-form striker right now, but Tata Martino seems to really trust Rogelio Funes Mori. Who would you, Juan Carlos Osorio, give the edge to, Henry Martín or Funes Mori?
Well, I think that in the past, the manager of the national team has been questioned if he wants to bring in a naturalized player, and that will be the case with Rogelio Funes Mori. Now, I think that Henry Martín has proved in America that he can play at that top level, that he can score good goals. So I think that at the end of the day, and that's my point, is not really what I think he should do, but is the manager's decision. And I think that either or, I think he will be a good player to add to the 20 to the list, and he could be a player. I will say that to obviously you are asking me, and I have to make a decision. If that has to be, if that will be my decision, I will wait until the last week of the final week of the making the final list, and whoever is in better form, I will go for it.
Profe, speaking about big managerial decisions, one of the biggest ones that Tata Martino has taken so far is the decision to leave Chicharito Hernandez off the team. As somebody who has coached Chicharito, what do you think when you see him not in the World Cup squad as we head towards Qatar? And do you think that Mexico could benefit from having a player like Chicharito in the team?
I do think so. I think Javier can still score good goals. Looking at his last games, he will look 3 in 5 or 8 in 8. I will stay with the 8 and 8, and he's playing in a very competitive league. But one thing about Javier is that I do believe that he has to feel important to give his 100%, and that will be a decision that the manager, a top manager, which I have to say, I think Martino is a top manager, and he will make the final decision looking at what's the best for the team. But I think Javier, with the national team, has always given his 100%, and he can still play at that level. And if he knows as early as possible that he will be part of it, I think he will be in top form for that big tournament, and he will provide the national team, whether he starts or not. He will give his 100%, and I think that 100% will reflect on some goals, as we know that he can score at that level.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.